Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I would like to present my lesson plan. Name of teacher Avioleta Qory Chandra SPD. Name of school SPK SMAN Banua Kalsel Bilingual Boarding School BBS. Subject English. Grade 11. Topic Offers and Suggestions in Chapter 1. Text type Transactional text. Skills are writing and speaking. Time allocations 15 minutes for one meeting. Move to the basic competence and indicators of competence achievement. The first basic competence. To apply the social function, the structure of text, and the linguistics elements of transactional verbal and nonverbal, which involve actions of giving and asking for information accordance with a suggestion and offer, based on the context. Pay attention to linguistics elements of should and can. The first indicators is to identify the structure of offers and suggestions based on the textbooks. The second, to differentiate the difference between the structure of offers and suggestions on the textbooks. The second basic competence is to arrange transactional text, verbal and nonverbal, which involve actions of giving and asking information accordance with the condition, action, activity, event, without mentioning the person in scientific text regarding to the social function and the structure of text, and the linguistics elements correctly and appropriate with the context. The first indicators is to create some examples of making, accepting offers and suggestions with the example provided in the textbook. The second, to present their own examples of making, accepting offers and suggestions in front of the class. Move to the learning objectives. The first learning objective is students will be able to analyze the structure of making, accepting offers and suggestions. The second, students will be able to acting out their own examples of offers and suggestions. The attitudes, values, focus. The first religious, the second mutual cooperation, and the third is integrity. Learning materials. Regular learning materials. First fact, starting and responding. Concept. Social function. Offer means to give something physical or abstract to someone, which can be taken as a gift or a trade. Suggest means to give a suggestion, that is to introduce or propose an idea or a plan for someone's consideration. Both of these are to facilitate interpersonal communication between different people. The examples are this. Mom, Dad, let's go camping, please. And sounds good. This is for suggestion. And for offers, can I help you to bring your books, mister? Yes, please. That will be very kind of you. Move to the principle. Generic structure. Propose to make a short conversation of offers and suggestions. Dominant language features. Modals like can, should, shall, will, could, and would. The procedure. Write transactional text focusing on offers and suggestions. And move to the learning materials for remedial. A transactional text about short conversation that are interesting and practical by using specific themes which focus on giving and asking offers and suggestions well and politely. Move to the learning materials for enrichment, social function, generic structure and language features, and transactional text inform making and accepting offers and suggestions, verbal and nonverbal. Learning method, approach, scientific approach, and learning model is CLT or communicative language teaching. Learning media, first in focus or LCD projector, whiteboard, board marker, laptop, and textbook. Learning sources. The first learning sources comes from buku siswa mata pelajaran Bahasa Inggris kelas 11 from Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan, and the second from the website of www.talkenglish.com, and the third from YouTube, the fourth from module learning material, and the last is another relevant source. Move to the teaching and learning activity. The first activity is opening activity that will be held for 2 minutes. The teacher will do orientation, a perception, motivation, and giving references. The first orientation, doing the opening by reciting salam and praying to start the lesson. Here will be the religious values. Then, checking the presence of the students as the reflection of disciplined behavior. Then, preparing the students to follow the process of learning transactional text about offers and suggestions. A perception, connecting the learning materials, theme, activities that will be done to the students' experience in the previous level or in the class 10. Reminding of the prerequisite materials by asking the students. Then, asking the questions related to the lesson that will be done. Motivation, giving the description of the benefit to learn the materials. If this material theme project has done well and seriously, the students will be able to explain the definition of offers and suggestions. Telling the learning objectives to the students and asking the questions. Giving references, telling the students about the materials that will be discussed today. Telling the core competence, basic competence, indicators, and minimum graduation criteria of the meeting. Then dividing learning group and explaining mechanism of the implementation of learning experience based on the learning steps. Core activity or kegiatan inti that will be held for 12 minutes. The first is stimulation in literation activities. Students are given motivation or stimulation to focus attention on the topic by doing some ways. First, viewing, or without or with tools, display relevant pictures, photos, or videos. Observing, showing a short video from transactional text about offers and suggestions as an example. Reading, in their own home before the teaching learning activities. Students are asked to read materials from textbooks or other supporting books from the internet or related material. Transactional text of offers and suggestions. Listening. Students are asked to listen to the materials given by teacher which is related to transactional text in form of offers and suggestions on chapter 1 page 2. Create simple conversation using offers and suggestions. Problem statement, question, problem, identification. Critical thinking. The teacher gives students the opportunity to identify as many questions as possible related to the short video presented and will be answered through learning activities. For example, asking the questions about what are offers and suggestions, what are the functions of offers and suggestions, and what are the generic structures of offers and suggestions, which is not understood from what is observed or questioned to get additional information. Move to the example. The meaning of offers and suggestions are, the generic structures and functions of offers and suggestions are, the models used in offers and suggestions are, and data collection, collaboration and critical thinking. Students gather relevant information to answer the questions that have been identified through the activity. First, observing the object or phenomena, interviewing the environment, collecting the information, reading other sources beside textbook. Like students are asked to explore their knowledge by reading reference books about how to give, accept offers and suggestions in general. Representing activities. Learners do the following activities. First, the students work in pairs to analyze the general, functional, and practice the conversation according to the video and textbook. The students make their own conversations with their partners. Then discussing, reviewing, and exchange information about by being actively responded by students from other by being actively responded by students from other groups in order to obtain a new knowledge. Then move to data processing, critical thinking. Students in their groups discuss processing the observational data in a way, discussing about the data, how to identify the generic structures of offers and suggestions, how to analyze this function of offers and suggestions according to the structure, how to make simple conversation using offers and suggestions that is good and polite, that have been collected or summarized in previous activities. Processing information that has been collected from the results of previous activities or meetings as well as the results of observing activities and the activity of gathering information that is ongoing with the help of questions on the worksheet. Students doing their performance in making a simple conversation. Verification, critical thinking. Learners discuss the results of their observations and verify the results of their observations with data or theory in the source book through activities. Adding breadth and depth to process information that is looking for solutions from various sources that have different opinions to develop honesty, conscience, discipline, obeying the rules, hard work, the ability to apply procedures, and the ability of inductive and deductive thinking improving. Perform their simple conversation in front of the class. Include with the students and teachers discuss together about the simple conversation that have been made by the students. Generalizations, communication. Students are discussing to summarize, deliver the results of discussions in the form of conclusions based on the results of the analysis verbally, in writing or other media to develop an attitude of honesty, conscientiousness, tolerance, ability to think systematically, express opinions politely. Present the results of the classical group discussion about simple conversation about offering and suggesting that is good and polite. Express opinions and presentations made and responded to by the group presenting. Ask about the presentation and other students are given the opportunity to answer them. Summarize the important points that emerge in the new learning activities carried out in the form of a written observation report about simple conversation about offering and suggesting that is good and polite. Answering questions contained in the student's handbook or worksheets that have been provided. Ask questions about things that are not understood, or the teacher throws a few questions to the students. Complete the competency test contained in the student's handbook or on the worksheet that has been provided individually to check student mastery of the subject matter. Notes: during learning takes place, the teacher observes the attitude of students in learning, which includes attitudes, discipline, self-confidence, behave honestly, resilient to deal with problems of responsibility, curiosity, care for the environment. The last closing activity for 1 minute. Students will make summary with the guidance of the teacher about the important points that emerge in the new learning activities carried out. Scheduling homework, scheduling projects that must be studied at the next meeting outside school hours at home. Teacher. Checking student work complete immediately. Students who have completed the project correctly are initialed and given a ranking number for the project assessment. Give awards to groups that have good performance and collaboration. Assessment, remedial and enrichment. Assessment technique for affective, spiritual and social. Observation, journal. Observation assessment is based on observing the attitudes and behaviors of students, both related to the learning process and in general. Direct observations made by the teacher. The following are examples of attitude assessment instruments. Then here the note. Okay, move to cognitive. Written test. From this learning process, the students are able to write down the dialogue in pairs and psychomotor performance. From this learning process, the students are able to demonstrate their own dialogue of offers and suggestions. Because the skills are writing and speaking, so the rubric will be about writing assessment and also about speaking assessment. Okay, I think that's all from me. Sorry if there are so many mistakes that you can find in this presentation. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.